Item number 3 is consider approval of resolution commemorating 111 years of community service by the St. Joe Mission Church property. This resolution says, whereas the St. Joseph Community Center Incorporated has shown great leadership in both development and preservation of the former St. Joe Mission Church property, and whereas the St. Joe Community Center, including the St. Joe Mission Church, remains a vibrant central part of the St. Joe community activities, and whereas having been a focal point for 111 years, the St. Joe Mission Church is a significant part of the St. Joe community history and heritage. Whereas the St. Joe community has taken extraordinary effort to preserve the future generations the historical St. Joe Mission Church building. And whereas the St. Joe Community and St. Joe Community Center Incorporated request approval from the Marion County Fiscal Court for the use of the St. Joe Community Church property for Christmas celebration. Now therefore be resolved by the Marion County Fiscal Court that the St. Joe Mission Church property be used for historical commemorative Christmas celebration, mass, and service at the request of the St. Joe community. Be it further resolved that Marion County Fiscal Court grants a waiver exemption from the Marion County Fiscal Court lease to the St. Joe Community Center Incorporated, Section 3.1, Part F, that restricts such building use.
Motion to accept the resolution.
Second.
Mr. Bishop? Yes. Mr. Quill? Yes. Ms. Black?
Yes.
Mr. Cole? Yes. Mr. Kirk?
Yes.
Unanimous.
Item number 4 is to consider approval of the transfer of the St. Joe Community Building property to the St. Joe Catholic Community Heritage Incorporated, non-profit, upon completion of deeds and paperwork by our county attorney, which some of that has already been completed. Mary has brought the 501c3 documentation and also the
survey has been completed.
So,
Motion to approve land transfer. Second. Mr. Bishop? Mr. Quill? Yes. Mr. Kirk?
Yes.
Mr. Bowman? Ms. Black?
Yes.
Barry, if you want to kind of explain what you all are doing down there to kind of maybe.
Well, I mean, if it hadn't been for the court years ago, I mean, the heritage and stuff of that center, that was our centerpiece, was the church and the property. Of course, once the property was given from the archdiocese to the court for the good of St. Joe community, then we leased it. I've created a nonprofit which was to operate and manage the property, and we've leased that now since 2001 from you all. So it was a benefit on the county gaining ownership of additional property and stuff with no literally cost out there. Of course, but since then we have done improvements with grant monies to build buildings, blacktop parking lot, walking tracks, pavilion, storage buildings. So the property is really built up and remains very viable for that community and what goes on in that activity. So the church building is a part of that package, and it's 111 years old. So we're at this point we're needing to I mean, there's some structural issues that'll go with the foundation, the wiring issues that we're going to have to address in the near future, and heating and air and stuff. And just those 3 ticket items round up to $100,000, and it's not one of those things that government, would say, guess what, we're going to invest in a church building that is being maintained as a museum, a church museum. So in essence, what we've done this year is worked diligently to get the nonprofit put together that is specifically for the church building. The rest of the property remains as county property and operates under the St. Joe Community Center, and just what was pinned off, as you see on the survey, will be under the Heritage Center for that. And then, of course, we have also gained approval from the Archdiocese of Louisville to commemorate with 2 heritage celebrations annually from this point forward. So, and in essence, it'll pull the local government out of the church business and put it back where it, so really it's a lot of history just has transpired in the last 18 years with that.
By doing this resolution, that's for this year.
Yeah, the resolution is for this year, but once this, once we're able to get the transfer, then there will never have to be a resolution done because it'll be, the ownership will be under the Heritage nonprofit. So that at that point, the same stuff that's on the deed that was transferred from there will be transferred again to the new ownership. And then at that point, that nonprofit will have to establish the resolutions for the continuum of some type of a celebration like that. So it's been there was a lot of heartache and hurt over that community losing the church years ago, but we had an opportunity. The court stepped in, helped by just being there. All we needed someone to say we're the owners of it, and really it was given to the court, and then we continue to manage it for these years, and now we're stable enough to move forward to another development in that process. So it's been great and greatly appreciated for your all's continued support, and you still got you just don't have the church. You will not have a church. So not that a lot of governments have that.
All right,
Thank you all.
Appreciate it.
Yes.
Do you make any questions on that?
Thank you.
Thank you, Larry. Item number 5, we've got the district water report. Jimmy will say anything about the budget before we pass the budget?
No, it's pretty much plain cut.
Okay. Item number 5, consider approval of Marion County Water District's annual budget.
Second. Mr. Vogel? Mr. Fisher? Yes. Mr. Coyle? Yes. Ms. Blackwell?
Yes.
Mr. Kirkland? Yes. Unanimous.
Item number 6, I would like to take this time to thank Mr. Donnie Browning for the time he has served on the Marion County Water District Board. I think he's been there 16 years, is that correct? Is it the time that he's been there?
15, I think.
I appreciate the time you've been there. And thank you for all that you've done. Next item is consider approval of the appointment of Cody Rakes to the Marion County Water District Board.
Motion. Second. Mr. Vogel? Yes. Mr. Kirkland? Yes. Mr. Bishop? Yes. Mr. Coyle? Yes. Ms. Blackwell?
Yes.
Unanimous.
Item number 7, consider approval of the Marion County Clerk's 2020 budget. I think Chad discussed that with you all at the last meeting we had. Anybody got any questions for Chad?
When the census fund changed, when they do it this year, so when is that, if it goes up, when does that take effect?
I'm hoping not next year, but likely next year. I guess
If the
it's
census goes up, it will affect the
it's
state.
based on the decennial census, so they're a 10-year census.
So
And we're under the assumption that we're going to be above the threshold to receive the state supplement next year.
how much?
It'll be 67,000, so this year.
A couple people like that, don't we need to move a couple out? It's all back before we cross the line, you know what I mean?
Got the lots of good
As good Marion counties as we can get.
It's gonna make a difference, though.
Yeah. I would definitely make a difference in our budget. Looking at the excess fees as insurance rates and retirement rates, and all the other personnel expenses go up. Our excess fees tend to go up. We work to decrease any expenses that we didn't need to make, and working with the staff is not as big as it has been in the past. But even with those cuts, without this supplement, we would
Struggle.
not maintain the self-sufficiency that we've been able to maintain through. As long as I can remember.
Well, we'll let them work through it. We'll see if,
Maybe we'll get a new car line next year. Maybe we'll, maybe the census won't happen on a federal level or something, whatever.
And remind people again, I mean, when you buy cars out of town, you can have them, make them licensed on here. You can request that, and make them do it, because
You can definitely request it, whether they do it or not, that's another.
make them put it in writing. If not, they have to go back and pay it. I've done that.
I've seen some people go back.
if you don't have something, I bought one that way. They said, yeah, you got the paperwork. No, they didn't do it in Lexington. And then they done had license tag, and it's a big ordeal.
I think a lot of people just do not realize it. I mean, some of them don't. I mean, some of this to getting the information out, when they do make that purchase, they need to request of that lot to transfer it at their home county, or home county.
It makes a difference.
It makes a difference. It's like shopping at home, isn't it?
No, absolutely.
Make them put it in writing.
Yeah.
Make them write it in the contract. Binding, then they have to do it. If you don't, a lot of times, it's more trouble for them. They don't do it.
And we've lost a couple of really good dealerships in the last couple of years locally. Has had an impact. We'll weather this stuff, we'll figure something out.
Need a motion on that? Motion to approve the first budget.
Mr. Webb?
Yes.
Mr. Bishop?
Yes.
Mrs. Blackman?
Yes.
Mr. Vogel?
Yes.
Mr. Kirk?
Yes.
Unanimous, thank you so much.
Next item is consider approval of annual order setting maximum salaries for clerks, deputies, and assistants. That was also in the budget, if you would.
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Bishop?
Yes.
Mr. Webb?
Yes.
Mr. Vogel? Yes. Mrs. Blackman?
Yes.
Mr. Kirk?
Yes.
Unanimous.
Item number 9, consider approval of travel request of local student athletes. 2 players participating in the Kentucky Middle School Football Championship held in Florida. I think the total expenses for this trip for the entire amount of time, I think there's a couple different spots that they were going, weekends they were going to be staying, come to $2,225. Again, these are Kentucky high school, middle school football. In that group, if you'll see, it's the KYMSFA is a 501c3. And I guess to be part of that is will be a big honor for any young football player that's coming up. So I would like to do $100 myself to help these folks and maybe help our football team in the future. So that's what I see.
Do 100 as well. I'll do 100.
Voters' parents live in my district, so I would like to do 100.
I'll also do 100.
So it's $100 round.
If they do need more, then there is an opportunity for them to possibly do some litter payment, do some road miles or something. Because, they're always, I think we've had a good budget for that last year, haven't we? There should be some miles for them to do that.
When does this take place?
I think it's going on now.
Oh, okay. I thought,
They just were late getting a request in, but the money goes to this organization. So, and we might not, we got it.
Need a motion.
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Webb? Mr. Kirkland?
Yes.
Mrs. Blackman?
Yes.
Vogel? Yes. Mr. Bishop? Yes. Unanimous.
Item number 11, Jimmy provided the sheriff the budget this week and did put it in your packet to review for, I think you said you had that January 15th, so.
I think it's
So we're just gonna review the sheriff's budget and next meeting, hopefully, that take care. You wanna comment on anything, Jimmy, on the budget?
No, I think it's not much more than last year's budget, and like most things, typically your staff or payroll is your biggest issues. That's up some, but outside of that, pretty much in line with what we've done in the past.
Okay. Thank you, Sheriff. Thank you, Jim.
Next meeting will be time for you to That'd give you
Yes.
time.
Item number 12 is consider approval for the advancement to the sheriff's department amount of $23,960 from supplemental deputy salaries to begin the new year.
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Bishop? Yes. Ms. Black?
Yes.
Mr. Kirk? Yes. Mr. Floyd?
Yes.
Unanimous.
Item number 13, consider approval of $100,000 to sheriff's department for benefits.
Motion. Second. Mr. Bishop? Yes. Mr. Kirk? Yes. Ms. Blackwood?
Yes.
Mr. Wood? Mr. Floyd? Yes. Unanimous.
I kind of jumped over one there, I didn't want to spend all that money. Item number 10, consider approval of budget transfer for 50 to EMS and 75 to the detention center.
Motion. Second. Mr. Bishop? Yes. Bowden? Yes. Ms. Blackwood?
Yes.
Mr. Kirkland? Yes. Mr. Floyd?
Yes.
Unanimous.
Item number 14 is to consider approval to move Greg Nugent from part-time to full-time status at EMS.
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Bowden? Yes. Mr. Floyd?
Yes.
Mr. Bishop? Yes. Mr. Kirkland? Yes. Ms. Blackwood?
Yes.
Unanimous.
Department reports, Jimmy?
Every year, we got a brush pile at the transfer station with grind, and it's about that time. Last year, we had roughly 53 loads, and we hauled them, and he charged us $150 a load. This year, I hope we can work out the same agreement, I don't know, but me and him's talking, hopefully can, but I need to get that done, because they could come and get it approved.
Cox's Interior, right?
Cox Interior.
Motion to approve. Second. Mr. Bishop? Yes. Mr. Kirk? Yes. Mr. Bowden? Yes. Mr. Wood?
Yes.
Ms. Blackwood?
Yes.
Unanimous.
Our pressure washers quit, we bought it in 2009. And a new one is $4,900. Y'all know, we wash a garbage truck a day. Soft trucks, we've got to have one. A good one is $4,900.
It's really not that big of an increase from 2009, you gave what,
So I
37?
get $3,700 for one in 2009.
Is this the size you need, you know?
Yeah, it's a big, yep.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Bishop? Yes. Mr. Floyd? Yes. Ms. Blackwood?
Yes.
Mr. Bowden? Yes. Mr. Kirkland?
Yes.
Unanimous.
Y'all got a copy on the back of the pressure washer.
Yeah.
And the next item is coal mix. I'm gonna get a pallet of bags and a ton, it's in a buck. I'm gonna try this ton, we've never used this buck before, but a ton ain't but $110. But the bags is $13 a bag. And the total on it is $760. There's another, somebody told me another spot, I might look before I go down there and look and see if I can get any cheaper here local. If it's just as good, you know, I might do something different, but if it's cheaper, we might go that
See
route.
if you get a sample, we'll try it out first if it's there.
I mean, like I said, we've used it, and it's worked fine.
Yeah.
I can't remember offhand what the price was.
Yeah.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Bishop? Yes. Mr. Kirk?
Yes.
Ms. Blackwood?
Yes.
Mr. Bowden? Yes. Mr. Floyd?
Yes.
We had one employee quit, and we've had this application for a while, and I'd like to ask Tyler Weather for sanitation.
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Bishop? Yes. Ms. Blackwood?
Yes.
Mr. Bowden? Yes. Mr. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Kirk?
Yes.
Unanimous.
Does that bring up, staff wise?
Yeah, we'd be good. Put the ditcher on, we've got it out running. Try to get over the county next couple of months. I know a couple of y'all had the spot, y'all wanted to get it.
Post Creek.
Is that the new diesel off, how's it working?
Good.
Back on the blacktop, $110 every delivery, because I see you give them Clem Brothers.
No, it's not delivered. His estimate right here says delivered, but it's not delivered. I'm gonna run down there and, I'd like to look at that bolt before we buy it anyway. Don't count if it's hard, you know, I don't want it. We need to be able to reach in every 5-gallon bucket and get us a bucket full of it.
And I know the company quite well. I know that one of the companies.
Yeah, no, it's not delivered. But, everything else going good unless y'all got anything.
Is on out there, I don't want to support the lake where you clean the well and gas tanks, just start calling them every time, even though you just clean the ditch. Is that what they were fussing about?
Yeah. Yeah.
I knew this.
My understanding there, Larry, if you put a shovel in the ground, you're supposed to call 811. That's just, I had an issue myself out there where I was grading a yard to get a gas line, so, you know, don't take any chances. I mean, it's,
Then too, if you call 811, I mean, if there's a private gas line, they don't look at that.
yeah.
So you gotta watch it.
But that's what the guy, they told me, is if you drop a shovel in the ground, you need to call 811, so it don't seem right.
We went out there and worked one evening. They got a vibration off the wire or something, helicopter flew this morning. They don't do that.
But the 811 is not always all that you gotta locate. You gotta listen to that information real quick. Clearly, because any non-members, like KU and Marion counties are non-members, KU and Yester counties are members. When they give you this people to call, you got to think, what other utility companies, then you got to go on and research it yourself. I always say it's a law, we call it all the law, everyone should be members, but it's not.
See, what I get too, it's a private, like it used to, all our meters in 1157, we all had like 1,000 foot of gas line. They don't locate them, although they'll call it 811, and it says clear to go. They don't know there's 6 gas lines.
Yeah.
All out in there.
It can be
And
ready.
they'll dig and they'll say, oh, we call 811, but they do not locate private. If you got a water meter way over here and goes to your house, they don't locate it from the water meter to the house, they locate it to the water meter. And so you gotta, if you're doing digging, you gotta,
It's really, it can be confusing.
so even though 811 comes out, it don't mean you're clear. And if you don't know it, you're
So
screwed.
that, I can take that one step farther too. Say you go there and you come to my house, and I say you out for those numbers. Okay, if he's the contractor, if he does not have his request number, and he actually hits something, it's on him. Because you've got to call yourself, whoever's doing what.
You gotta have that number.
You've got to call it, the contractor is responsible for calling himself. You can't use the homeowner says, well, I already called him. By legal rights, that's the way they. We do it. We do them every day. I mean, by the time you get done, you're gonna start calling that one. You know, it's like, you're gonna say anything. But, I mean, it's a challenge. When you go to these other counties, you don't know who all the utilities are. So you have to start finding out who's who, you know.
And one of them told me there's a place, if you're at, that locates private lines, because they got in trouble doing that years ago. They located one, missed it, and cut it, and they had to pay for it. So now they won't locate past the, there's a fox and a half, something they call it's a private, and they charge quite a bit, they come out.
I had a pinpoint out the other day down at American Park, he found 4 hours, $810. To locate. For $810, private location. But it's cheaper than
Yeah,
putting a fiber line out there. But it is, I mean, you really gotta be on your game on it anymore, it's different.
And all this infrastructure stuff they put in, they got cable everywhere, all this fiber optic stuff they're running around. It's everywhere.
Anything else?
Thank you.
Thank you, appreciate it. We got a rough Monday, it was wet, flooding. Didn't have anything else.
Nothing major, just slab, nothing major.
And then, garbage route changes. Tuesday's running with Mondays, and Wednesday's running with Thursdays, correct, for the next 2 weeks.
The next 2 weeks. So next 2 weeks, we just about gonna be picking up garbage.
Yeah.
Al, if you make note of that, and put it on the radio, please.
He's writing.
Wednesdays, yeah.
It still says it out.
I know they will, no matter what.
Thursdays and Mondays.
All right, Keith left a report,